All right, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Anu. And today we got ourselves a little daily message. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, comment, share. Do what you need to do, but go ahead and get what you need. Oh, by the way, go pre-order your new book, Soul's Re-Spark Adventure. Available for pre-order right now, so go check that out. And while you're in between, go help yourself make some changes with the Soul Inspiration book series. All right, enough of all that jazzy. What's good, everybody? Here's the yap session. I don't know why I'm feeling like we should yap today, but yeah, I hope y'all doing well. I'm doing better. Still feeling a little bit stuffy, but it's nothing too crazy. It's really, you just got to change the food that you eat. So I got way more sleep, but I ate more fruits and veggies, so I feel way better already. Even though I did eat, a little bad yesterday. I wouldn't say bad, but I fasted most of the day. Got some Five Guys. Then by the end of the day, I just have fruit and salad. So yeah, I think I did pretty good with the balance thing, especially when I wasn't that hungry. But Five Guys was there, and that shit was smelling good, and I was, you know, I was feeling like I needed to eat that, so I did. Anyways, I don't have too much of a channel message today. The only message that I've really been hearing, for all of us is patience, and due diligence. Those two words, patience and due diligence. I don't really know what y'all got going on, but I feel like there are certain things that's happening, which is you have to take the time to take reflection. When I say to take reflection, that means to take what you have reflected upon and then apply it to other places. Even if it's a future thought, you have to. You got to start understanding that projection of life is the key. But to project means you must assimilate all parts of you and project your whole essence, the all of you. Most people just do a problem. And I know people don't hear me. Sorry, man. I need to blow my nose. Fuck. But I know people don't hear me, man. And when I say something and then I do something, a lot of people just don't understand. Sorry. But because they don't understand, they don't apply the information right. And so when it's time for them to apply the information that I was trying to give them, then all of a sudden they want my help. And that's exactly how I would be feeling. The Five of fucking Pentacles, that's that energy. And that energy right there is kind of crazy because a lot of the time people consider me like dumb sometimes because I start off in positions that seems irrelevant. But because I'm starting off with the detail that you will never fucking pay attention to unless I brought it up, I actually am making everything that's complicated super simple and super easy because we're focused on this single part that you didn't consider, but that's prevalent throughout every single step. So it's like I got the cheat code and niggas is mad that I'm walking around with the cheat code. But then guess what? I offered the cheat code to you and you did not accept it. So it's crazy. Again, it's crazy how when you're persistent, you have to understand what is persisting. Persisting. And the idea is you can change that. So I had a situation yesterday where I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. If I was a teacher, let's say 10 years ago when I first started, um, I would be mad as fuck at a lot of the people I work with now. But because I've grown, because I've understood myself, I'm able to let things roll off a lot easier, and I don't have an issue being cold and like blunt. I don't have that issue because whenever that version of myself steps in, it's for the defense of the baby inside of me. It's like I got a baby always, and I always consider this child and this little baby infant inside of me. And anytime I get mad, I just assume that's my ego trying to protect the baby. And if I can realize when it's just angry and it's not trying to be in protector mode, then I adjust myself and I put myself in a position of protection. And sometimes that looks like doing nothing. Sometimes that looks like submitting. Sometimes that looks like re- taking the time to reflect. So the idea is once we get the chance to see ourselves, we got to give ourselves a chance to see our growth within ourselves, which comes down to a two-part comparison. It's a two-part comparison. I'm gonna have to draw this for y'all eventually. Let me see if I can do that right now. Pen in here. I do. Do I got a paper in here? I do. So y'all about to get a little education here today. Take some notes if you want to. All right. So taking a look right here. Okay. This here is you. This here is you also. And this part is you as well. So these three things are you. This is, let's say, your light side. Let's say this is your dark side. Then this is your combo. So this is light dark. Then this will be dark light. So all of these little parts create you. This is you. But all of these parts also create me. So because it's you and me made up the same way, we have to understand this whole entire shape happens twice now. It happens twice. So now, instead of having Venn diagram just like this, you have to apply it. Oh, I fucked up. Like that as well. So this, if you don't know, this is the seed of life. That is the sacred geometry that everybody claim that they know and understand. Yeah. If you're not being able to apply that mathematics, then you don't understand it. So this is what we're looking at. This is what I've been talking about, and I'll try to express. Let me try to draw it a little bit better for you. So again, here are the versions of you, and then here's the versions of what you claim yourself to be. There we go. So that's way better. Notice you got this one circle on the inside. That little circle right there is what you think your life is, but this circle is actually what your life is. So that is 8 parts. Most of y'all can't see it, but here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you got your light side. And then you got your dark side. So these parts of you, that's 10 different parts. But because you can express it as good, then you can express it as bad, that creates the 12 zodiacs. This one little seed. This is why when the Bible says, have faith of a mustard seed, because you got 12 areas, well, really it's 10. You got 10 areas of potential. Again, here's another way. This is how I teach it in the schools. When I'm training people for, this is the ancient way and this more appropriate, but when I'm training people on intelligence, you have to understand this is what we're dealing with. Everybody knows tic-tac-toe. Where is it? Everybody knows tic-tac-toe. But what people don't understand is that this tic-tac-toe happens many different ways. In this cuboid form, this cuboid, you have tic-tac-toe, tic-tac-toe, tic-tac-toe on every single side. Those sides is representing these areas. Again, what I'm trying to express to you is that if this side is leading the way, that means some other combination of who you are is also being led. When you have these three parts, they have to reconcile and come together, and then you can move forward with your life. You have to be able to understand that these things are constantly rotating, constantly changing. So sometimes you need to look at a specific detail. Again, this baby square right here instead of this bigger square right there versus this whole face versus this entire cube. There's layers to this shit, right? But the layers is still nothing but you and me. So how do you combine all of them? You got to turn yourself into the I. And then guess what? This I has an I, which is what we call phi. This is an irrational number, just like pi. Most of y'all know pi, y'all got to learn phi. Phi is life. So whenever you're trying to create this little space in between, that little dot that I just put right there, now it looks like an eyeball. This will be considered your iris, and now you can see. So again, what we're trying to tell you right now is in order to see yourself, you got to understand which of these versions of you that you're claiming as you're expressing yourself, who you're being at the moment, the good side versus the bad side versus how they're applying themselves. I got a good demon and I got a bad angel. That is what you got to do. That's what we're trying to see. When you're looking at, let's say, the eye of Ra or the eye of Horus, these dimensions within that eye have rates. These rates operate based upon the scales of music. The musical scales are the harmonies that you can have within yourself. And because they're scalar, that means they're harmonizing. Roll, roll, roll your boat. Roll, roll, roll your boat. Roll, roll, roll your boat. Gently down, gently down, merrily, merrily. Like, it's the quartet aspect of things happening in their own sequence, but things occurring through harmonies. It's chaos controlled. It's not controlling the chaos, it's managing the chaos in a space. It's geographical control. It's not computational, operational, or functional control. Now, so the reason why I'm bringing up this information like this is what reflection actually is. When we are reflecting, we're looking at changing the understandings that we have upon ourselves, but you have the same materials. And so because you have the same materials, you can't really change. A dog is a dog, a cat is a cat. But you can cut that cat's hair. You can, throw your hair out. I'm a black dude, so, I got a fro. But then, I can get braids or something. Or I can get dreads. Or I can get a cut. I can get waves. I can alter something about me, but I can still be myself. That is the energy of today. So we're looking at this precursor to where we're being headed. But you got to know who's in the driver's seat. You got to know what is actually going down. You got to know how do I anticipate the changes for myself. And you also got to know how do I be okay with changes I don't know. How do I be okay with what I don't know? How do I leave space to value bad things or, what we can deem as bad? How do I leave space accepting that? Well, it's pretty simple. You allow it to be valued from a no point of view. Here's olives on a pizza. It's called a supreme pizza. Some people love the peppers on there, hate the olives. Another person loves the olives, hate the peppers. The supreme pizza offers both. And guess what? How does the person who likes the olives deal with the supreme? How does the person who likes the peppers deal with the supreme? It allows us to get our own slice and then remove the things that we don't want. So when you're taking in life and you're finding out things you don't want, aka bad things, then you can remove those things. But guess what? You had to receive the whole slice. You had to determine what you liked versus what you didn't like, the dark, the light. And then you have to decide how you're going to move throughout the next space. Again, you can't change the pizza, but you can move some things off the pizza. And then you can proceed. So this is what this reflectionary period is about. Figuring out where you need to take action to get yourself out of this situation here. A lot of people consider the Five of Pentacles to be a bad card. To me, I see it as spiritually intact. I see it as completely down out bad on the physical world and completely upright and abundant in the spiritual world. Those two people on the card, they don't give a fuck. I got you, you got me. We are here together. Rain, sleet, snow, sunshine, heat, desert, dry, floods, whatever. I got you, you got me. We're together. I will always support you. That's the energy you need to carry with yourself, whether you deem something about you being good or bad. You just need to say, I got you. I love being here with you right now. That is the affirmations you need to be applying to yourself when you're in situations where you must see change. The change is already happening, so it's up to you to see it. So, yeah, well, really wasn't expecting that. Let's see what the cards say to support all of that jazz. This is feeling like it's going to be a 2-video day. All right, one more of these, and then let's get it. All right. Look, that's crazy. Five of Pentacles starting off at the bottom again. So again, look, the reason why I say that these people are spiritually abundant is because of this at the top. It's like the tree topper. This is the star of the angel on your Christmas tree. This is the foundation. So all four parts of you are solid. But then this fifth space, okay, that is that emptiness that you leave in order to have good things and bad things flow throughout your life. Again, this is you leaving space. And because that space can be left and things can change, you're not exchanging the things that you value as your foundation. So these people aren't going to change their morals and their values. They're just going to change their health, or they're just going to change their wealth, or they're just going to change their clothes. They're going to change their building. They're just going to change something external to them. Everything inside remains intact. So again, a lot of people like to say the second grade level of this card, which is yes, they're out in the cold. Yes, physically down bad. Yes, all of that is true. But on the spiritual side, you got to understand that there's people, when you put it into context, there's people who have a car, right? And they aren't happy. And then there's people who ride the bus and they aren't happy. And then there's people who got their car and they're happy. And there's people who ride the bus and they're happy. So looking at the physical side, nothing is changing. You got a car and you got a bus. But the feelings, how they feel, how they're projecting themselves in the real world, one is happy with the car, one is happy with the bus, one is not happy with the car, one is not happy with the bus. That is what you have to see as the structure and makeup of life. The structure and makeup of life is made up of those four parts. Here's the no side, here's the yes side. Here's the cars, here's the buses. But here's the you. Here's me deciding. So what I'm trying to get to is, if you've never ridden on a public bus, go try that shit a few times. Just to give yourself the experience and knowledge of what it feels like. If you've never had a car, go rent one. Again, the idea is, how can I provide myself a change based upon what I've been reflecting on. So let's see what the cards want us to focus on in regards to this reflection or this change. Devil. All right. With the Fool at the bottom. So because you got the devil energy here, this is, again, because we're looking at flipping it, a lot of people would say that's a bad card. There's worse cards. The Ten of Swords is worse than the Devil card. I don't know if you understand that. The Ten of Swords really, really represents death. Like, it literally shows death. The Death card represents transition. But the Ten of Swords represents murder. Like, that's what that is, homicide. That is unaliving a person, unaliving an idea, unaliving a job, a relationship. That is literally bringing death to something physically. But it's coming from the mindset. Oh, but what do they always say? A woman makes up her mind and she'll leave the relationship months before she physically will do it. That's the Ten of Swords. If you decide, man, this girl is not for me, but it takes you 3 months to actually leave, that's the Ten of Swords. The Devil card, on the other hand, this is just your ego, bro. That's it. Because the ego chains us to certain things, whether you're a man or woman, whether it's considered feminine or masculine, you chain yourself to certain things. And the devil itself is androgynous. The devil itself don't give a fuck. It's androgynous. And so because the devil is androgynous, Baphomet is what they would say, it's looking at the combinatory aspects of both feminine and masculine. It's looking at both sides. It's the middle part to this Venn diagram. It's the part in the middle. It's what you see. It's the middle part. It is the irrationalities between both of these things, because they're the same, but this is light dark and this dark light. So what's the difference? Direction. What's the difference? Male body, female body. That's the difference. But guess what? It's still a you. So, again, if you mad because you got to pay for your bus pass and you don't have a car, guess what? You don't have maintenance. You don't have to buy gas. You don't have to get insurance. You don't have to worry about anything but waiting for the fucking bus. Maybe you got to deal with some fucking smells or something, or some people you don't want to see. Other than that, I mean, you don't have to do anything. Same thing like with renting a house. If you're renting a house, you got people there who are controlling other things. If you're renting an apartment, same thing. But if you own your house or if you own your condo, it's up to you to get the maintenance done. It's up to you to get the shit done complete. It's just more responsibility. So this is what we're reflecting on with this devil card. It's not looking at the things that are bad in the world. Bad is subjective. What we're looking at is what is good for me. Do I see the good and the bad in this situation? Again, do I see? It's I. The combination of both. Do I see both? This card is no different than the Lover's card, man. Bring it up. You find the Lover's card. I think I've talked about this before. I can show you 3 cards, or it's really 4. Forgot that one. These cards, man, they're representing, it's the same structure. It's like understanding second grade. Doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is a second grader has similar characteristics as other second graders. So you know what? We can put all second graders together, or we can categorize all kids with these characteristics as second graders. So, take a look. These cards are not very different from one another. They're not very different from one another. These cards here are literally created the same way. You got the angel in the back, got the angel in the back, got the devil in the back. Let's change the words. You got the celestial in the back, you got the celestial in the back, you got the celestial in the back. You got the mortals in the front, you got the mortals in the front, you got the mortals in the front. You got the connection, you got the connection, you got the connection. All of these things are the same. Again, what changes them is you calling judgment on having a car as good or bad, or taking the bus as good or bad. You calling judgment on, should I take this job? Should I not take the job? Oh, let's keep going. I'm at the job. I like this part of the job. I don't like that part of the job. Is it a good job for you? Yes or no? I'm in a relationship. I love the relationship. I hate the relationship. What are you going to do? My kids. I love my kid. Fuck them kids. I don't know. I'm running out of ideas. Okay? Okay, let's go with something simple. Getting a pet. I love dogs. I hate cats. Again, what are you going to do? What judgment are you calling for? Guess what? You might hate the cat, but can people hate the dog? You might love the dog, but can people hate the cat? I think I said that backwards. But this is what I'm trying to say. Again, you have to be the person to call judgment on your life, which means you must take the time to reflect. When you reflect, there are going to be bad things that have good and bad in them. There's going to be good things that have good and bad in them. When you have these things, you'll realize that it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's not the good thing or the bad thing. You have a combination now. The judgment card has the child, which is that middle, which is that combinatory aspect. It's showing you the good and bad. Most parents can see the bad inside of their children, which is a direct reflection of the bad in them. A lot of parents don't want to address that though. But those who do, you normally have securely attached children. But when you're realizing that people can be secured and attached to certain things, and then they can be insecurely attached to things, which comes up as anxious avoidant, and all the others, you have to know first that there are still these two. It's these two sides. Mom says no, it's dangerous. Dad said yes, it's fun. Doesn't change the fact that the kid is riding the bike. Doesn't change the fact that the girl is riding the horse. What matters is, how do you view what you're seeing? How do you judge what your eyes can see? So when you're reflecting, a flexion is what? It is bouncing light. But it's not bouncing, that's the reflect. So it's actually passing light. So a flexion, like when you flex, you're passing or channeling energy through something, and when it reflects, it goes back to where it came from. So the idea is, if you can dish out good, guess what? You can probably receive good even if people say it's a bad situation. If you dish out bad and people receive the bad, you're still giving out bad even if people could consider it to be a good situation. These opposites, they come together like this. Again, North Pole, South Pole. We'll probably do it like this because most people see it like that. But this is the idea. And what you are is, you're on both sides of this coin now, casting judgment. You're casting judgment on the devils and the things that you love and the things that you hate. But guess what? You are chained to the things that you love. And then the things that you love become the devils that rule your life. It is you deciding, I want this, I love her, but she's toxic for me. She doesn't communicate. She doesn't hit my soul, but I care about her deeply. Guess what? That's fine, but that's one of these roles and one of those roles. You need to be outside of that situation and make the correct judgment call as the little kid. Fuck I gotta be with her. No, I gotta leave her. No, let's not even consider that. I gotta chase my dreams and it's just not working. I gotta go and, support my mindset and this not working. We argue too much, I'm worried, and it's stressing me out. These are the things that we have to start to pay attention to. Again, because I can easily just rotate these, and guess what? People will say that was a complete different perception. I'm trying to show you right here, right now, that they're the same. Don't treat these things as if they're different. It's still the ego. This is two different forms of the one ego. Be the child ego, the innocent ego, the ego that knows not, but it knows all. The ego that is in between, the light dark, the dark light. You have to be the judge. And guess what? You're going to have the celestial help to do so regardless. But what this shows you is that, damn, I'm not here by myself now. I'm not the only one struggling with addiction. And I'm the only one trying to cope with this depression. I'm not the only one who's trying to handle my business for my family. I'm not the only one who have to deal with bullshit managers. I'm not the only one who's stressing about paying rent and bills. I'm not the only one. That is what judgment is all about. It allows us to be included inside of the judgments of the Most High, which is the power graced upon us as people. This is your free will. So let us be okay with reflecting so we can call the judgment on the things that once were good or once were bad or once were good and what were bad. When you can see both sides to both sides, then you can be in the middle. So I hope you guys, we're definitely probably going to go a little deeper, but I hope you guys feel good about that and you stop judging yourself and just the situation and where you want to go. Because at the end of the day, you still got to take you with wherever you're going to take yourself. So again, you still got to take the bad side of you even if you decide to go over here and be the good guy. You still got to take the good girl, even if you're still a bad dude. The understanding is we both got a little bit of both inside of us. We got to make the right judgment call for all of us. So, all right, good luck. Appreciate y'all. Peace.